Hello, my name is Charles Yates and I'm from Toledo, Ohio. It's my goal to run a successful music production company. From childhood, I knew I wanted to be involved in music. In the book Mastery by Robert Greene, he talks about strategies of finding your life's task. One strategy is returning to your origins. Your power and future can depend on reconnecting with this core and returning to your origins. Look for traces and reactions to something simple, a desire to repeat an activity that you never tire of, a subject that stimulates an unusual degree of curiosity, feelings of power attached to particular actions. You have nothing to create. If you reconnect with this core at any age, some element of that primitive attraction will spark back to life, indicating a path that can ultimately become your life's task. Another is occupy the perfect niche. Green states that the career word is like an ecological system. People occupy particular fields within which they must compete for resources and survival. The more people that are crowded into a space, the harder it becomes to thrive there. You spend so much time at these games that you have little time left over for true mastery. Another is find your way back, the life or death strategy. Green says that no good can ever come from deviating from the path that you are destined to follow. Most often you deviate because of the lure of money, more immediate prospects of prosperity. Because this does not comply with something deep within you, your interest will lag, and eventually the money will not come so easily. You will search for other easy sources of money, moving further and further away from your past. The road to mastery requires patience. The two strategies that resonated the most with me was find your origins, and find your way back. I was drawn to music at a young age. I remember Sunday nights watching the Ed Sullivan Show with my parents, seeing the Beatles' first appearance in the United States, listening to my small transistor radio, hiding it under my pillow to listen to music all night until I fall asleep. When I started middle school, the band director had trials. We were giving a musical aptitude test and I passed. Suddenly I had a voice. I was part of something bigger than I was and I stood out. I was good at something people I didn't know knew me. I got the chance to open for some of the biggest acts of the mid 70s with musical groups that I had been in. I wanted to be a band director. That was my dream job. After attending Florida A&M University, I got the opportunity to do just that after a stretch of fast food and factory jobs. I was hired as the assistant band director of my old high school alma mater. I was on top of the world. Then life set in. A rocky marriage that led to my resignation and a separation from my daughter. I felt as though the life was sucked out of me. My life was in shambles. Then in '85, I caught the keyboard bug. I got a keyboard and started to compose my own music. That was my way of coping. Again, I was alone in a room with just the music. In the '90s, I started to do local recording where I met a rap artist who talked me into working with him. I agreed. A few years later, he recorded a CD through a fluke and it ended up in the hands of an Atlantic Records executive. We were scheduled for a meeting with him. We were on our way, so I thought. While in the middle of negotiations, the artist was charged with a felony and sent to prison. So I quit music again, so I thought. I have friends that made it in the music industry. Shirley Murdoch, who won a Grammy for As We Lay, Trez Gregory, vocalist for Brooks and Dunn, and James Big Game Manning, who was the bass player for Billy Preston. One in particular was back in town to do a benefit and asked me to sit in, so I agreed to go down to a local studio to join him. I was asked to grab the console while the engineer took a phone call. I hadn't been in the studio in 10 years. I was lost. First of all, there was no tape. The console was digital and everything was done from a Mac. Wow. After faking my way through the session, I decided to get some formal training on this new way of recording. I had no computer skills, in my 50s, and wasn't fluent as a keyboard player. Some family members called me crazy, but my wife, daughter, close friends, and former educators cheered me on, and I met that challenge. Not only did I graduate, but now I'm working for two production companies, one of which I own, Power Move Productions, while I further pursue my education. My plans for the future consist of working as a recording engineer and producer specializing in artist development. I would also like to expand into audio visuals in the near future. I have two short-term goals this month. First, I intend to assimilate into the master's program as well as I did the bachelor's program. Second, I will be recording music and narration for a summer musical for Mystery Music, a production company that showcases the talent from the students in the Toledo Public School System, May 27th of this year. This is my way of giving something back to the community. My journey to mastery has begun.